All right, we here. Welcome back to Marv's World Radio. Shit, not Marv's World Radio. Welcome to Unorthodox Logic with Marv. Y'all see I'm all over the place. See, I'm doing something different. So it's making me act different. Today we gonna open up the phone lines. If you want to call in, the number is 716-402-4945. I know a lot of y'all gonna be on playback. That's okay. That is okay. We're going to be on playback, but we are going to take phone calls. I am going to post on social media right now. So I need y'all to just give me 2 seconds while I do that. Actually, I'm going to do it just like this just to make it simpler. Watch how I do this. I am live right now on Unorthodox Logic with Marv, and I'm taking phone calls. Hit the number right here. Call in. Let me know what you think. We talking cops, how they relate to people, how to deal with them, things of that nature. So call in. Let me know what you think. I am live right now on Unorthodox Logic with Marv, and I'm taking phone calls. Hit the number right here. Call in. Let me know what you think. We talking cops, how they relate to people, how to deal with them, things of that nature. So call in. Let me know what you think. I am live right now on Unorthodox Logic with Marv, and I'm taking phone calls. Hit the number right here. Call in. Let me know what you think. We talking cops. Boom. I'm going to just plaster this across all my social media platforms. Boom. We about to lick. We about to hit the lick. I am live. Boom. That's there. Now we're going to put it on this other one. Hold on. Be patient with me. I know we got plenty to talk about. We have plenty to talk about. Oh, God. Hate these rich and famous accounts. Don't worry, we have plenty to talk about. I gotta put this on all my platforms. Hold on. And if people start calling in, we're gonna get straight to it. No worries. No worries. If people start calling in, we're gonna get straight to it. All right, now let me go put this on my timeline, and we are done. Put this on my timeline, and we are done. All right, let's get it. If the calls come in, they come in. If they don't, fuck them. I don't give a fuck. Let's get straight to the topics. All right. So before we get into the cop topics, because I'm going to give people time to call in, I want to hit a couple topics that I talked about before. Before we do the deep dive into these other segments, I want to hit a few topics that I talked about before. Now, a lot of people have this false sense of hope when they see first-degree murder charges filed on a race soldier or a deputized race soldier. Kyle McGriddle, I really don't know how to pronounce his last name, so we're going to just call him Kyle McGriddle. This kid, Kyle, 17 years old, he opted to go out with an assault rifle at the protest out in Wisconsin. For those of you that don't know, another black man was shot by police. He didn't die. He's paralyzed from the waist down. He was shot 7 times in the back while having a baby struggle with police officers. All the facts and details haven't come out yet, but from the video we saw, the man was walking away from police. It looks like they were giving him some type of verbal commands. Don't know what those verbal commands could have been. The man went he opened the car door on the driver's side. He was shot in the back as he was getting pulled by his T-shirt 7 times. The NBA has canceled or rescheduled all games for today and tomorrow. They're going to go ahead and reevaluate this whole thing and see what's going on. And, I'm not mad at that situation. The players are standing up. They finally understand you got to hit them where it hurts, and that's in that pocket. When there's no games on, you shut the shit down. Those billionaires start losing money of all facets. So the NBA owners are billionaires, and then you got the TV network owners that are billionaires. When they start losing money, it becomes a problem. The MLB, I think the Mariners game, they all decided to go ahead and boycott and not play as well. So when you see this start to happen and the billionaires start like, hey, whoa, how far are y'all willing to take this shit? You're going to see them hit up their political connections, start leaning on them, like, look, we got to do something about this shit or y'all going to fuck our money up. They're not going to do it from a heart of gold. They're going to do it from a financial standpoint. Whatever. I don't give a fuck. I don't need your heart of gold. I just need it done. Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Civil Rights Bill. He was racist as fuck. We don't give a fuck. Just get it done. So, I'm going to move this up here so that way when I'm looking at the screen, got the hiccups. Look at the screen. I won't be looking down like that because I'm looking at my screen that I'm recording myself on. And even if matter of fact, maybe if I move it in the middle, yeah, I naturally just look in the middle. So, boom. There we go. Problem solved. Anyway, that was just a technical thing. So, it seems like everyone is getting this sense of false hope because they see some first-degree murder charges being filed. Hold on. Let me turn this off. I'll let that ring. Some first-degree murder charges getting filed. The issue is that's a hard charge that sticks. It's hard to stick that charge because the simple fact is it's hard to prove that someone premeditated a murder. It's hard to convince, no, I'm sorry, it's not hard to prove. It's hard to convince a jury that someone premeditated a murder, especially if they don't have like a manifesto or stuff like that. So this Kyle McGriddle kid, if he has a manifesto or if they can find some type of trail of him talking crazy about black people or Black Lives Matter or anything of that nature, if you can trace something back to that kid. Unfortunately, he was able to get home and go to bed, so he probably went home and cleared his computer or whatever the case may be. If you're able to trace something back to him showing that he had any type of previous animosity towards Black Lives Matter protesters, then you'll be able to go ahead and get that to stick. But even though he went out there to assist the police in that situation, assist the police against the Black Lives Matter protesters, it's still going to be hard to convince a jury of a 17-year-old kid planning to murder people and to planning to murder those particular people too. It is a very, very, very hard charge to get a jury to convict on. So, look, we got our first caller. Let's see who it is.
Call from
Eric Fontaine the painter.
To accept, press 1. To send.
We got my man Eric on the line. What's up, Eric? How you doing, baby?
Man, I'm good, bro. I'm good. I'm not even going in front of him. I'm a little ticked off.
Are you ticked off at what happened with for Jacob Blake out in Wisconsin?
Bro, I'm really ticked off on that. I am a big basketball fan, but I understand the position that the basketball players are in, especially the Milwaukee Bucks. Like they're in that state. Mm-hmm. At the same time, I'm having to go against people I went to high school with, man. That don't understand.
Oh, they understand. They just don't want to.
They don't want, and and you may not know, but you probably do know. I was raised in Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
Deep South shit. And so, excuse my French, but
no, you good.
I go to school with a classmate. I'm sharing this stuff, and I'm thinking a good classmate, Marv, mm-hmm. and they giving justification, and it's one of those people where you're friends with, but they don't say nothing on your page until something that they don't agree on. You'll forget that you're even friends.
Okay.
So one of those people, and I'm like,
I like to call those kind of people complicit by silence. Those kind of people who won't say anything until it's time to disagree. So basically, their silence is complicity.
You wouldn't even think this person even existed on your page until they came out the cut on some. Well, the cop, you couldn't see the knife, and they were rioting and they were chasing the guy, and they had. Bro, you're giving justification to actions that we have no right to freaking give a vote on.
Yeah.
You're a civilian. I'm a civilian. The man with the gun was a civilian. But now they're judge, jury, and the executioner? That's how it is?
That's how they act, and then they don't get punished. That's the key. There's no deterrent for this. You know what I mean? They get protected and not punished.
And it hurts, bro. Like, it really, like, I love NBA.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm willing to say, well, take them games off, man. If that's because them quotes on the back of them jerseys ain't enough, especially if, like, Giannis Antetokounmpo. He just won the Defensive Player of the Year. He might win the MVP Player of the Year. This man is doing so many good things for that city in Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to go out there and you have to hoop after you've seen somebody that got shot in the back 7 times. And then you hear about other people, not even rioters, protesters getting shot. But y'all want me to come out here, represent y'all, city and state. And I'm supposed to do this and hoop with a clear mind, a clear conscience, and not feel no way. No, it doesn't work like that, man.
Yeah, and then those cops, I think, they got suspended, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, they were, if I'm not mistaken, we haven't heard anything. Like, nothing's been breaking as far as anybody getting charged. The only person I know that got charged is the shooter with the AR-15 that shot at the protest.
Yeah, Kyle
McGriddle.
Finally
got charged.
Kyle McGriddle. He was able to walk past police officers. Then he was able to drive home to a whole different, because he's from Illinois. He ain't from Wisconsin. Drive all the way back home to Illinois, go to sleep, which means he probably wiped his computer of all his anti-black racism, and then went ahead and got arrested the next day. That's
then they want to put out.
Itself.
They want to put out fugitive, the fugitive alert. Cuts, suspect ran out of state. No, he didn't run out of. Y'all let him leave.
Yeah, he ain't run. He walked.
He walked. He walked past y'all. He didn't just run out and he shot the people and was like, yeah, let me pack up. No, just like you said, he went home, wiped it, tried to shower. He had a little dinner.
Yeah.
And then y'all want to put out the fugitive and the bulletin. But where was this at? Where was this at?
Yeah, he walked up to cops with a loaded gun and he didn't have on a uniform or nothing. So how, as a cop, are you not threatened by somebody coming at you with an AR-15? And you seem to find all types of threats and all types of harm that can be done to you with somebody who's unarmed or with somebody with a knife. Let's say dude did have a knife, because that has not been confirmed yet. That's just somebody looking at a blurry picture saying, yo, he had a knife. Well, that could have been his damn glasses.
You can't even tell.
Yeah, you can't tell if that was a knife or not. So that's the information they go off. Yes, they're giving justification because they're uncomfortable with the equal treatment of black people. The moment black people need to be, it's time for black people to get treated equally, they find an issue in that. Why do you find an issue with equality with black people? That's a whole nother ball game.
Man, it's sick, bro. And then the white fans, because I'm going on Twitter. Going on Twitter. You know what I mean? I like going on Twitter to monitor situations like that.
Me too.
They're saying, well, I want my money back. I want my refund. Like, what are you paying for?
What
You're
refund?
paying for sports? Like, what? You ain't going to the game? Like, what? Like, your refund's not really going to go. Like, your money's not going a long way. It's not making no significant impact. If they refund you for whatever channels that you pay to watch sports, ask for that $7 back. Ask for that $14 back. It does not make it difference that you want a refund. You want to cancel. You say you're mad because you paid to watch players play basketball and they could do the protesting after. Freaking
what type of
kidding
shit
me.
is that? Yeah, see, that's because they like to have their Negroes the way they want to have their Negroes. I pay you to dance.
Yep.
I pay you to play basketball,
Yep.
nigga. What you doing boycotting and talking? Anybody tell you to talk, nigga? Play basketball. It's that shut up and dribble mentality. They told LeBron to shut up and dribble. Whenever somebody speaks against the conservative way, it's always shut up and do your job. But when it's time to, if somebody speaks up for the conservative way, they act like they're a hero. Even when that one dude in Orlando didn't kneel.
They don't like it, bro.
Nah, when that dude in Orlando didn't kneel, they was like, oh, look at this hero. It's one hero in basketball. I guess there is a saving grace. I thought y'all said y'all wasn't watching basketball. I thought y'all said y'all want people to shut up and dribble. Which one is it? Do you want people to shut up and dribble, or do you want them to speak up? Which one is it? So it's very contradictory with these people, man, and it's getting to the point now where it's turning into violence. And I keep telling people, you're gonna keep pushing black people back against the wall, and it's gonna go from we want equality to we want revenge. So you got to make that choice before it makes that switch, because when it hits that switch,
like, you know what I mean? Gil Scott, he said it best. The revolution will not be televised. So
Yeah.
now that we're in a position for social media, we say, well, we're going to do it our way. It don't have to be televised on TV because y'all want to, show us in bad light. Y'all want to show, well, they're rioting and they're doing this. You want to portray us in bad light. But now that everybody can live stream, now that everybody has a social media platform where they can show the definitive information at that moment being legit, you can't augment it. You can't control the narrative because now we're going to make the revolution televised. We're going to do it our own way.
That's a fact. That's the thing. They lost control. They didn't expect social media to be what it is, especially a place like Twitter. So now they lost control. Now we can televise the revolution. You're going to see it from our angle. You can't spin it your way no more. We have contradictory stories. When you can go ahead and put your shit on TV, we like, oh, okay, let me show you this angle because they're going to go ahead and try and portray us as the enemies or try and make it seem like only black people tearing these cities up when it's not just black people. It's white people, black people, all the protesters, and they not just tearing the cities up. That's a small group of people who's going out there to cause chaos. They're agents of chaos.
And it could have probably worked maybe 15 or 20 years ago, maybe 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
It probably could have worked that they could have controlled the narrative, but it's you can't do it now. There's too much technology. Everybody has something in their hand at any given moment to record and give witness to what's being viewed. You can't switch it. It's not, we have to wait until 6 p.m. or 10 o'clock to watch the news and get the information because MySpace wasn't sharing it now. No, we've come a long way in the 15 and 20 years now that everybody has the ability to show what is going on. And you can't change what is being seen right there in front of your eyes.
Exactly.
You can't change it.
That's where we at now, and I'm glad we at this point because it's time for a change, man. So, what do you hope to see happen going forward with the police? Are you pro defund police, or do you want to see some type of reform?
I can't. And Marv, I'm not even going to beat around the bush. I would be lying if I said defund the police, but I will also be lying and saying where I'm at in Niagara Falls, where I'm at in the hood, the police don't show up quick. There's been gun violence every night for at least the last 2 weeks or every other night, somebody getting shot at. Police get called. They show up. So if they did get defunded, I don't even think it's going to make a big difference to me and my little family because they're not doing shit around my area anyway. They're not doing nothing for the falls. So if it is defunded, it's not going to, I don't think it's really going to make an impact, but I can't say it to that extent because Buffalo is buck wild. If they defund the police in Buffalo, I couldn't even imagine the significance and impact of violence that would just spike. It's already at a high rate, but I'm in the middle, Marv, because it's like if you defund them, well, they're not doing shit anyway. Like, which one is it? We're stuck in the middle, bro. Then if I try to militarize myself and walk around with my pistol permit and pistols and stuff, and I see some violence and drama and stuff like that, then I got to pull out in Western New York, I'm not even going to beat around the bush. It is one of the most racist places I've ever been.
That's a fact.
There's prejudice up there. It is.
That's a fact.
It's prejudice up here. So, is defunding the police going to make any difference to our people out here?
No, I think it needs to go with, we got to go with defunding the police union because they're the ones with the power, and we got to aim for punishment. It's that simple. If these police aren't being protected by the union and they're being punished for their actions, nobody is saying don't do your job. Nobody is saying don't shoot at somebody who's trying to kill you. Nobody's saying that.
Exactly.
But what we're saying is you have a use of force model, and that use of force model has a action and a response for a particular action. And if you're not running through that use of force model and for the action and response to action, then you're killing somebody is unjustified in any way, shape, or form. The only time you're authorized to kill somebody is if they're presenting deadly force to you. So if somebody has a gun aimed at you, you can shoot them. You know what I mean? So it's that kind of shit. They even got that's what I'm saying. They got so many other options before you get to the gun.
You got 5 men, seven cops surrounding one man.
And that's the result.
Get him down.
They would have been better off just tackling him and whooping his ass.
That's the sick part. Like, oh, well, he walked away from the other. He walked out, the taser didn't affect him. So there's 6 other people with tasers. So no, y'all can't all just pull out. If one taser's not working, maybe you need 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Maybe he's on some hawk mode. But the kids in the car, and then point blank, and now he's paralyzed, point blank, and everybody's seen it. The world's seen it. You can't say what happened didn't happen because the world seen it. We all did. So I agree with you. Like, it's just such a complex time. Marv, I was just worrying about going to, last semester and, prior to the semester before that, I was just trying to focus on getting across the stage, man. Now at this point, there's no stage walking happening. The cops are shooting at random. They're killing and shooting without justification. Now there's people that want to be vigilantes, and he was 17. He wasn't even legal, if I'm not mistaken. Want to be Batmans and
Nope, he wasn't. He shouldn't even had the gun. So he had an illegal gun.
Bro, that's just sick. He wasn't even 18.
Mm-hmm.
18, running around with an AR-15.
Where he get that
Marv,
from?
We're at a conjuncture, at a crossroad, where I try to be like see what's going to happen. What's the next 6 months of my life is going to be. I can't see it as far as predicting what's going to happen in the world, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Just based off of the laws, based off of schools, based off a lot, Marv. It's just so much going on, man.
It's an election year, man, and when the election year is over, that's when we're gonna see what things are gonna turn into. But it's an election year. That's all that shit is. It's an election year, and everything is hypersensitive. Everything is politicized. Everything is gonna be turned into way more than it needs to be. When this election shit is over with, shit gonna open back up. They ain't gonna be allowing those kind of protests anymore. It's gonna happen if you keep killing people. That's no question. Because we had Ferguson without a pandemic, so we don't need a pandemic to go into these kind of protests. But once the election is over, you're gonna see the hypersensitivity of a lot of things go away, and then you're gonna see what, depending on the outcome. You know what I mean? If Trump remains president, then you're gonna continue to see what we saw for the last 4 years and until he's out of office. But if he's not president, it's going to be a reaction to that. You know what I mean? You're going to see a lot of these little deputized white supremacists go around shooting people at protests, getting their anger off because they're mad about losing the election. So it's going to go either way, one to two. I'll let you get the last word.
So I appreciate you taking my call, bro. I was already, had some energy I needed to vent off my chest. So I seen your stat. So I'm hoping everybody, calls in after. You get this off their chest, man.
Yeah.
Get this off their chest. Let it be felt. Let it be known. Let it be heard. Because I could have just sat here, but I'm like, you know what? Marvin's telling us to call in. Let's talk about some real stuff. I'm going to call in, man. And I appreciate you taking the call.
Absolutely.
And giving me the time to express my feelings because I need to get this off my chest. I
appreciate you calling in, man. You keep working, man. I appreciate you.
You already know I'm going to give a shout out, share the stat, and let everybody know. Call in. Let your voices be heard. Marv got you.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate that.
All right, brother. You have a good night. Make sure, all my blogs and my little podcast, my pain, I already know you on it, bro.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. So I'm going to get the love. I'm going to share it, share your info because that's the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
The right thing to do.
Yeah, of course.
You have a good night, Marv.
You too, my G. Good luck. All right. That's my man Eric Fontaine. If y'all didn't know, y'all make sure y'all check out his podcast. Make sure y'all check out his he has paintings. This man is a talented painter. If you like abstract painting, go check out his painting. His podcast is on Spreaker as well. It's called Good Talks with Eric Fontaine. So make sure y'all go check that out. I'm telling you, man, you will like it. It's very short and sweet, straight to the point. But we taking calls, as y'all can see. We taking calls. Anyway, so you hear these false sense of hope with the first degree murder charges, and like I was saying, it's damn near impossible to convince a jury that it is somebody did something like that. You know what I mean? Then the younger the assailant is even harder then, and you got to convince a jury of it's going to be tough to convict, but I will say, hopefully I'm wrong. This is the first degree trickery theory. I hope I'm wrong. Like, I hope that is the dumbest theory I ever made. I hope it's the most wrong theory I ever made. I hope it's never right. I hope it's always wrong. I hope. That's what I hope. That is one theory I would love to be wrong on, but I'm looking at the pattern, and it's hard for me to say that I'm always wrong. 9 times out of 10, I'm right with that theory. Now, so I wanted to touch on that. Also, I want to touch on why our ancestors didn't die just to vote. Our ancestors didn't die for our right to vote. Our ancestors did not throw their lives away just for the right to vote. Our ancestors had a goal. Their goal was civil rights. They like, look, we're not treated equally. We don't get the same resources. We don't get the same job opportunities. We live in like shit in America, so we have to fight for our rights to get what we need. So instead of going a violent route and just tearing this motherfucker up, they said we are going to fight for our right to vote, and then we're going to use our vote to get candidates in the office that's going to sign our civil rights. So what we're going to do is protest and make sure we get the opportunity to vote in every city that's using voter suppression or aggressive tactics, things of that nature. So you see Martin Luther King traveling the country, visiting cities, hick towns, whatever the case may be, making sure those people were eligible to vote and get the right candidates in. There are people who died during those protests. Those are people who lives were sacrificed during those protests. It was not for simply voting. It was for getting the right to vote so they can use their vote to get civil rights. So what happens is y'all like to use the process instead of the goal. Y'all like to harp on the process instead of the goal. Let's say they opted to get civil rights and they chose to go a violent route in that work. What if they just started shooting every motherfucking racist sheriff, cop, person, anybody doing any type of voting suppressing? What if they just pulled their ass out on TV, put a gun to their head, and put a bullet in the back of their fucking head until they got the right to vote and civil rights? In that work, would y'all be sitting here saying our ancestors killed people to get the right to vote, so we got to go kill some motherfuckers? Y'all wouldn't say that. Y'all wouldn't say that. Y'all wouldn't use that as y'all reasoning. You would say our ancestors did what they had to do to get us the right to vote, so we can use our vote and advocate for something that's going to get us something in return. We're supposed to use our vote to get us something in return. Our ancestors did not die simply for us to vote. They died for us to vote so we can get civil rights. They died for civil rights. Voting was the means to get there, but they died for civil rights. Whether we truly got civil rights or not, whether we got some janky ass civil rights or not, they died so we can get some type of better treatment in America. They did not die for voting. Stop saying that. That is false. Voting was the vehicle that they used to get to civil rights. They could have used any other vehicle in the world to get there. They chose voting. So therefore, don't let no one guilt you into voting for anyone if you don't feel like you're going to get something for that vote. They got something for their vote. They got one of the most racist president in modern history, Lyndon B. Johnson, to sign the Civil Rights Act because he was tired of the problems they was causing. The good trouble. He heard about Martin Luther King saying, look, this nonviolent shit ain't working, so I'm going to have to go ahead and get these guns stashed away, and we're going to have to see what's really popping. See, they don't like to tell y'all about that Martin Luther King. They tell you about I Had a Dream in 1964, but Martin Luther King died in 1968 or 69. He died 4 or 5 years after the I Had a Dream speech. Why don't they tell you what led to his death after those years? They don't talk about that because they want you to believe in a nonviolent approach and say, hey, do it the peaceful way, do nonviolence, march, beg, and eventually we'll give you a crumb. We're not doing that anymore, and now they're trying to say these guys are anarchists, they're violent, they're this, that, and the third. I'm not out there protesting because y'all know how I get down about protests. Y'all know how I get down about that. I need to know what is the goal. I ain't about to be sitting out here just yelling, screaming, and marching, pleading, dancing, and fucking around with y'all if there's no goal. You see, the goal was civil rights. They wasn't out there bullshitting. They wasn't out there dancing, booty popping, bussy popping, and all that kind of goofy shit. They weren't doing that. Y'all are. So I'm good on that. Anyway, so I wanted to reiterate on those two things. Now, I want to talk about this one more topic before we get into the primary topic, before we get into this deep dive about the cop situation, cops in general. I want to just take a couple minutes out to talk about these lost and scared niggas. 1 second. You see, these lost, these scared niggas, for some reason, y'all think, hey, if I go ahead and bow down to white supremacy, I'm gonna be safe because, you know, that's what I need to do, and that's how I need to go, because I'm telling you, white supremacy is scary. And then because it's scary, you know, and stuff like that, I got to go ahead and just kind of toe the line, and I got to make sure I say, hey, we got to look at this, and we got, like, you start talking and taking on white supremacist talking points rather than just speaking straight up facts. You see, hold on. My shit janky, my headphones looking janky and all that shit, but that's all right. You see, a lot of times what y'all tend to do is, you scared and lost niggas, y'all like to play like y'all trying to be honest, or y'all trying to be contrarians. Y'all not sheep. Y'all like to use, yo, I'm not sheep. Yo, I like to use logic and critical thinking when I talk. And you try and just hide behind that, but nigga, you scared. You throwing in the towel. You can be mad at the Democrats and not side with the Republicans. I promise you, I do that. You can be mad at your old party, but you ain't got to side with the enemy. They both the enemies. They two sides of the same coin. Throw the fucking coin in the river. See, what happens is, a lot of y'all think, hey, I'm going to do this Democrat thing, and this is what I'm supposed to do, this is what I'm supposed to do. And as you get older, you get frustrated, and you start looking at political things like, damn, yo, the whole time Democrats is just as fucked up. But at least I can agree with some of these conservative points. I tell y'all this all the time. Black people are conservative as fuck. Black people are conservative as fuck. Most of black people's views lie within conservatism. They have a very, very conservative view. It is just a few points that is extremely left. Other than that, most of black people's views, especially straight black people, cisgendered, or whatever the fuck y'all call it, born and straight black people. I'm not doing all that extra shit, man. The LGBT community can do their own shit. Straight black people are extremely conservative. It's a few things that they aren't conservative on, but for the most part, they're extremely conservative. Freedom of speech, straight black people agree with that. Without limitations. Democrats, they have limitations. Republicans don't, for the most part. They say they don't, but I'm going off paper. Right to bear arms, most black people believe they should have a gun. When it comes to abortion, most black people agree with they are pro-choice. A lot of them are pro-life, though. There are a lot of black people that are pro-life, but there are plenty that are pro-choice, and those ones are usually the ones who start acting like they're Democrats. Social services, medical, things of that nature, a lot of black people lean on the left with that, but everything else, they lean right. They don't want the government in their money. They want little to no taxes whatsoever. They don't want the government interfering in shit. Like, if y'all really start looking at what on paper conservatives and liberals believe in, a lot of y'all would lean on the conservative side, straight black people. Homosexuality, a lot of black people like, hey, let the motherfuckers live how they want to live. LGBT community, y'all can live, prosper how y'all want to prosper, things of that nature. Like, I'm telling you, it's a few points that are like, once you agree with certain points, you cannot, they just like, yo, there's no way you can say you're a conservative if you think that people should be allowed to have an abortion, or if you believe in LGBT, and like, that's where it turns people away, and the racism, shit like that. But either way, what I'm saying is, you niggas get scared and you lose yourself. And then you try and make it seem like you're more pro-black than everybody else because you have some conservative views. You're able to logically and critically think. So your goal is the ultimate goal for the black people, and no other person has a view that don't have views. People that don't have views like you, black people don't have views like you, they must be wrong, or they're sheep, or they're this and they're that. Nigga, you scared. And a lot of times, the motherfuckers that do this are in an interracial relationship. A lot of times, people that do this get into interracial relationship and they are compromised. They try and be pro-black in an interracial relationship. They got these anti-black views. And they try and hide behind blackness. Say, I'm black. I got black kids. My kids biracial. That don't mean they any less black than anybody else. Yada, 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 yada. Shut the fuck up, scared nigga. Because you go and you sit with your white girlfriend or your white boyfriend's family and you start yucking it up. You start buck dancing and tap dancing for all your little white coworkers, all your conservative white coworkers and shit like that, and you bitch made. You bitch made. That's what you are. You a scared nigga and you a bitch made because you're toe tapping and tap dancing for all these motherfuckers because you want to make sure you can go to work in peace. You go to work and you probably talk greasy. Most likely you talk greasy about black people. You start talking about these little ghetto ass fucking stereotypes and stupid shit like that. Talking about ladies, if your name Bonquisha, when you turn 18, you can change your name. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? There's no fucking body out here named Bonquisha, nigga. Just say you scared and you throwing in the towel instead of talking that stupid shit. You motherfuckers be putting on dashikis and going out to eat and to the movies and you waving your little flags and then you go home and you turn your wealth over outside the black community. You don't commit to the black family. The fuck are you talking about? Don't nobody want to hear that. Nobody want to hear that shit from you. Then you start taking on these conservative talking points every time a racialized lynching happens. A race soldier kills a black man and you start asking questions on what the black man did wrong to get himself killed. Motherfucker, have you ever heard of a use of force model? They could have did a whole bunch of other things besides shoot that man in his back. They could have stopped him from even getting into his car. If he was under arrest, he was resisting arrest at that point. At that point, you could have tackled his ass to the ground, put his ass in handcuffs, and carried him away. Y'all bullshitted. And then you shot him in the back 7 times because you bullshitted. Nigga, there's no excuse. There's no questions to ask about that situation. The fuck are you talking about? You niggas is scared. And a lot of times, it be the men. Y'all weak. You running. You think that cooning and buck dancing gonna save you. But nigga, it ain't saved Diamond and Silk. They suing Fox News right now for racial discrimination. I just seen, what's his name? Little coon ass motherfucker got kidney failure. Now he in a coma. King Face in a coma with kidney failure because old goon decided to come in and say, let me go ahead and take care of this shit. Let me take care of him real quick. Since he want to go against the black community while we in the middle of a revolution, let me go ahead and take care of his ass real quick. Old goon ain't playing. He ain't playing. But let me go ahead and tell y'all how to deal with cops, why people dislike cops. Let me first tell you the type of people who become cops. The type of people who become cops are typically them scary ass, bitch made dudes who were losers, punk asses in high school and trying to find a way to climb out of that bitch assness and that punk assness. So they like, well, how can I get out of this? Oh, let me become a cop, get a gun, and I'll be able to control these motherfuckers. And any motherfucker that gave me a hard time in school, I'm writing tickets to them. Oh, no, they're not getting off. I'm going to write tickets. Yeah. So they go ahead and become cops. And then they get out in these communities. They listen to these stereotypes, these racial stereotypes, and they take that on. They take on those racial stereotypes and they bring that kind of mentality, that aggression, that anger towards everyday citizens, taxpaying citizens, non-criminals, traffic stops, things of that nature. They bring on that mentality and they start building up all this anger and animosity because they start getting cussed out by people, especially people that they ain't willing to shoot. non-black. Anybody that's non-black, they're not willing to shoot non-black people. They're only willing to shoot black people. So they start getting cussed out by these Karens and things of that nature, getting their asses handed to them. And then they started, all right, fuck it. Routine traffic stop. They start saying motherfuckers is fidgety and they blasted off on Philando Castile. Jacob Blake getting shot in the back 7 times while walking to his car. No one physically tried to stop him from getting in his car. They just started blasting on him. So these are the kind of people who like to become cops, and this is what happens. So here's what I'm going to tell you how to deal with cops, and then we're going to get out of here. Unless we got more phone calls. First and foremost, I want you to understand this mentality that you need to grasp. There's a mentality I want you to get into your head. You are a boss. Cops are foot soldiers. Judges are bosses. Why the fuck are you arguing with a foot soldier? You don't argue with foot soldiers. A foot soldier was sent to do a command. The foot soldier is doing what they were sent out to do for the most part, to be clear. So you don't argue with that foot soldier. If he say you was going 50 and a 30, but he's going to do you a favor and knock it down to 13 over so he ain't got to arrest you, don't argue. Don't argue. Take the ticket. Go pay a lawyer, go to court, and argue your case. If he say you didn't use your turn signal when you made a left, all right, man. Let me tell you how I deal with cops. No matter what they say to me, I got every ticket under the sun. Speeding, didn't use a ticket, didn't stop at a stop sign, just rolled through a stop sign. All lies. Not all. Let me not fabricate that. I will not lie. Not all of them was lies, but most of them were. Especially when they started throwing extra sauces on them speeding tickets, but whatever. Cop pulls me over. Hey, do you know why I pulled you over? No, I have no idea. Did you know you were speeding? No, I didn't know I was speeding. Do you know what the speed limit is? I do not know what the speed limit is. See, some people would say, why don't you just try and tell the truth? Say yes, sir, no, sir. I don't say none of that shit. Suck my dick. Ain't no yes, sir, no, sir, nothing, motherfucker, because you racially profiling me anyway. What the fuck you pulling me over for? I wasn't speeding 9 times out of 10. Didn't roll that stop sign. Definitely used my signal. Blah, 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 blah. Whatever. So, you were going 45 and this is a 35. Oh, I had no idea. All right. Can I get your license and registrations, please? Hand me your license and registrations. They walk back to the car. All right, I'm going to go ahead and write you this ticket, and you just got to go here, here, and here. That's how most of my experiences went. Hey, did you know you rolled through that stop sign, you'll come to a complete stop? Oh, I thought I came to a complete stop. No, you roll right through it. Okay. Can I have your license and registrations, please? All right, I'm going to go ahead and write you this ticket. Hey, you know you didn't use your turn signal there? Oh, I thought I used my turn signal. No, you didn't use it. Okay. Can I have your license and registration, please? You see, when you start combating them, they go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Oh, it smells like weed here. You know what? Step out the car. Since you know what? Can you keep your hands on the wheel? I don't like how aggressive. They start going into this extra sauce and shit. Now, are there these overly deputized super cops, RoboCop ass motherfuckers that like to come on out? Hey, what's wrong with you? You were speeding back there. Yada, 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 yada. Hit him with the, I didn't know I was speeding. You didn't know you were speeding? You don't know how to read? I didn't know I was speeding. Do you know what the speed limit is? I don't know what the speed limit is. Maybe it's 40, maybe it's 50. I don't know. Do you know how fast? Like they're gonna just keep trying to goat you into anger. They want to get you angry. At one point, a cop called himself trying to preach to me. Hey, you were going a little fast, and I just want to explain to you why that's not important. Can I have my ticket, please? Cut his ass right off. Can I have my ticket, please? Stay calm. I don't raise my voice. I don't reach. I keep my hands on the steering wheel. I'm like this. Can I have my ticket, please? License and registrations. My license and registrations is right here. I'm gonna grab it for you. You know what I mean? Some people even go that far. You know what I mean? However you want to do it, what makes you feel comfortable. But I tell you one thing, arguing with a fucking foot soldier ain't gonna do nothing for you. Arguing with a foot soldier ain't gonna get you nowhere. I promise you that. I can guarantee you arguing with a foot soldier will get you nowhere. He's a fucking foot soldier. Now, I know to some of y'all like, yo, you minimalizing this because my car smelled like weed and da-da-da-da-da and da-da-da-da-da and all of that. Well, nigga, if you riding around with your car smelling like weed or whatever the case may be, whatever excuse they want to use, know your rights, motherfucker. If they got reasonable suspicion, if they say your car smell like weed, whether your car smell like fucking bouquet of flowers, if they say your car smells like weed, you argue with a judge. Because if they say your car smell like weed and it's proven otherwise, then guess what? You say you want the whole thing. You got to get lawyers. Y'all got to stop run. I understand the judicial system do us dirty. I understand that. But say if they lie and say your car smell like weed and there's no weed in your car. And they search your car and they don't find nothing illegal. There's nothing illegal in your car. There's no weed in your car. Nothing. Guess what happens at that point? You go. Then guess what you go do? You file a complaint. You file a complaint. You start getting that paper trail started. That's what you do. I mean, it's so many ways you can handle it. Arguing with a foot soldier, yelling and screaming and going back and forth with a cop isn't the answer. It is by no means a justification to be killed. Let me be crystal clear on that. It is by no means a justification to be killed because you argued with a cop. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, why are you even belittling yourself by arguing with these motherfuckers? You don't gain nothing from that. You don't win nothing from that. That don't help you. Stop arguing with them. Don't go back and forth with them. None of that shit. Get your ticket and go argue with a judge. That's what you do. I appreciate Eric for calling in. If anybody else, I might open the phone lines another time as well next week. I appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm going to cut it off at that point because I want to open up dialogue. Because I know a lot of y'all going to have some type of pushback on how to deal with cop situations. I want to know, y'all tell me y'all specific situations. You can comment on the post that I make on social media. You can hit me on Twitter, however it's going to be. Actually, I don't know if I told y'all, we back on Twitter as UL with Marv is the Twitter handle. Let me make sure. Yep, UL with Marv is the Twitter handle. Make sure y'all run those numbers up. We only have like 3 followers right now. I haven't even been promoting it. We just got back last week. But UL with Marv. So let's go ahead and do that. Anyway, man, I appreciate y'all tuning in this week. Again, another episode of Unorthodox Logic with Marv. Make sure you hit the links in all the shows, all the videos, the YouTube page. You'll see the links in there. Everywhere you see links, make sure you hit them. Hit that Patreon, hit that whatever you need to hit. I appreciate all support. The most important thing you can do for me right now is like, comment, and share. The most important thing you can do is like, comment, and share. That's the best thing I can ask you for right now. It's more important than you hitting the Patreon. It's more important than Cash Apping me. It's more important than all of that stuff. Like, comment, share. That's what I need y'all to do at this point because it's time for us to step our movement up. It's time for us to step our reach up. That's what we need to focus on right now. All right? Catch y'all next time, man. I appreciate y'all. Peace.